Roger i'r cael wedi ennill ei 6 gêm diwetha am mhob gystadleuaeth. Montpellier oedd y diwetha I brofi'r colli yn ei herbyn nhw. Yn yr olwyr, wel, mae Andrew Trimble yn cael ei ryddhau gan Iwerddon I chwarae heno a'r dylanwadol Pina yn symud o 9 I 10 yn absenoldeb Paddy Jackson. Yn y pac, mae Herring yn cymryd lle'r ysbrydoledig Rory Best I bant a Iwerddon. Yn y reng ôl, mae prif chwaraewyr. Diac y prif daclwr, Wilson y prif cariwr, a Nick Williams gafodd I ddethol yn chwaraeo'r gorau rabo yn 8wr. Tîm sydd llawn y hyder wedi curo'r gwylch oddi cartre cyn y cyfnod byr y Heineken ar frig I grŵp yn y gystadleuaeth yna yn ogystal. Y Scarlets cael ei arwain allan gan Phil John, profiadol. A tachwedd gwyddelig iawn sydd gan y Scarlets yn chwarae Ulster heno Connaught a wedyn Leinster o fewn y mis. Ond wedi ennill 2 gêm o'r 6 yn y rabo, felly mae rhaid roi'r gyngrair nôl ar y cledre yn y gorllewin. Ac yn yr olwyr, mae'r 5 o'r olwyr gyda Cymru, ond y mwyaf disglair o'r ser I gyd, Jordan Williams yn aros gyda Ranbarth. Dim byd eilradd yn perthyn i'r haneri, Shingler a Davies. Meihill a Lee gyda'i gilydd yn y reng flan, fel oedden nhw gyda Cymru dan 20 pan giro nhw'r cryseduon yn hwpan y byd. Ac ornest pwysau trwm rhwng yr 8wyr heno. Timani a Williams yn rhannu bron 20 stôn rynddyn nhw. Yr unig chwaraewr rhangladol ar y fainc yw John Barkley a 41 o gapiau dros yr Alban. Ffefryn yng Nghymru wrth gwrs. Alan Rowland gyda'r chwiban yn...
Ulster on the red button. You're listening to me, Phil Steele, and alongside me, the former Wales and Lions scrum half, Rob Jones. How are you looking forward to this one, Rob?
Yeah, the conditions aren't great. I mean, it's been pretty bad most of the day. It's not raining, thankfully, but blustery wind, and that's going to affect the game, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, looking forward to it. And
it looks as if Ulster have got the wind behind their backs. There's that kick from Ruan Pienaar, the South African, playing at 10 tonight. Not the greatest of crowds here at the Park of Scarlets. And there's the referee, certainly Mr. Alan Rowland, who had a little bit of cat-calling when he was announced. Pienaar with an early chance to drill the ball down into Scarlets territory. You can see that wind that Ulster got behind him. Good start by Pienaar.
Yeah, you just look through the Ulster side. I mean, there's a lot of quality still there. Obviously, they're missing their international players, but Andrew Trimble, he's been released back. They've got Jared Payne, Pienaar at 10. Marshall, you know, is very, very good at 9. And certainly, if you look up front, the back row, Diak, Wilson, and Nick Williams, you know, probably one of the best back rows in the rabbit there.
It's a good ball off the top as well. Pienaar, chance to get his backs going. That's the 22 of the Scarlets. Back to Marshall. Pienaar again going right. Ulster giving it a bit of air early on. Trimble with a little dink through, and for a moment there, looked if Gareth Davies had let it run dangerously.
But it's very, very strong wind, as you said. It's been difficult to control any of your kicks. This man is capable of doing that.
Pienaar again going for the length. And it's an amazing bounce. Bounces infield. And Gareth Owen has to return.
Stay!
As Diak. Pienaar, he's had the ball in his hands at least 5 times in these opening minutes, but he's overcooked that one, and it'll be a chance back for the Scarlets.
Yeah, it was certainly a big wind advantage with Ulster, and they'll be looking, I would imagine, for territory in these opening stages.
41 years ago this week, of course, that Llanelli, the club side, beat the All Blacks. I thought I'd better mention that, Rob, as I've been banging on about Newport's 50 years all week.
It's surprising, every year now or so, they haven't heard anyone say it or mention it.
Scarlet's first chance of possession. It's the halfway line. A good little initial roll. Ball's there for Davis if he needs it. Using his runners. A Shingler. Adam Warren. As to no one in particular, it's a bit of a Barnes-Wallace, which Gareth Owen has to pick up. Advantage to Ulster. It's all a little bit slovenly at the moment, though. And poor old scrum half Paul Marshall was well and truly put in the creme by that pass. And there's a little bit of afters as well, but a little bit of a sloppy opening, Rob.
Yeah, it is. As I said, it's not going to be easy out there. You know, there is this blustery wind. It's damp, wet underfoot, and it's just about control of the ball. I think that's going to be key for both sides. You can't just throw the ball around. You know, it has to be controlled. You have to keep possession. And probably the side who does that best will come out on top.
Here we are, up close now. Okay.
Ulster won the last contest between these two sides. It was in the Pro 12 semi-final. Remember, in Ravenhill, 28-17 on that occasion. And they also won here 1912 in the regular league fixture. So they've got a little bit of an Indian sign over the Scarlets of late. Good to see Samson Lee back, Rob.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, he's, you know, I think had he been fit, he probably would have been involved with the set-up of the Warren back there.
It's a bit vertical from Pienaar. No offside given. Mike Allen, the left wing, and here's the fullback, Jared Payne, the captain, almost up to 22. Gareth Davis returns. Found a bit of space behind Trimble. Did well. Scrum half Marshall trying to gather his own kick. Advantage given. Played for the knock-on.
Yeah, it's all quite scrappy at the moment. It's difficult to get those passes away and hold on to possession.
Time off.
Good decision by the referee there. As you can see in the replay, that came back from a Scarlet's hand. Jared Payne.
Gareth Mole in the wars at the moment. Good to see him back. It's been difficult to get into that Scarlets midfield with Scott Williams and Jonathan Davis, the form they're in.
Absolutely. You know, they're probably two of the best centres in Wales at the moment, and will probably start next weekend against South Africa. But Gareth Mole is just Mr. Consistent, I suppose. You know, since he's come down to Park the Scarlets, he's always made a contribution when he's played. Very rarely makes mistakes. Very solid in midfield. Alongside him, of course, Adam Warren, who's capped last year against the Barbarians a while back.
Let's have a look at this scrum now then. The Scarlets did seem to have a little bit of a nudge on in the last one as the rain starts sweeping across the ground.
Crouch!
Marshall to feed.
Bind! Set! Early.
Roland, not for the first time in his career, not happy with that. And Gareth Davis is off. Here's Phil John, who's been a revelation this season with the new scrummaging directives.
Stay on side.
There's 10 metres of Ulster. Aaron Shingler taking it up. Shingler, Stephen, still on 10 metres. All sorts of things blowing in front of us in the commentary box. Penalty given against Jake Ball. Certain people thought he might be a selection for the autumn squad. Jake Ball qualified through his grandfather, who's from, his dad rather, who's from Colwyn Bay.
I didn't realise that. He's played very well. You mentioned the scrum. That's one thing the Scarlets have worked hard on, and you know, they've been pretty dominant more often than not this year. So Jake Ball just giving away this penalty off his feet and just using the body to lean on as he came in. Good decision again by Alan Rowland. But yeah, he's a big man, big man, and certainly been an ever-present this season in the Scarlet side.
Nick Williams has gone to the front for Ulster. Good ball off the top. Here's Pienaar. This time keeps it in the hands. Mike Allen. Allen to the 22. Here we go left. Dayak making headway gradually. Ulster. Now it's back to the big men. Neil McComb. Marshall to Pienaar. Men over on the right. Was it forward though? I think so.
Forward pass there. 8. Offside.
Oh, I think there's a penalty though. 8 offside. Walking back.
Yeah, Sione Tamani. Well, the pass was, well, it was a quarterback's pass really, so forward.
Great run through midfield. It was Andrew Trimble, I think, actually, who off his left wing made inroads. So when you got someone like Pienaar at 10, although I was talking to the Ulster coaches just before kick-off, and they actually wanted him to start at 9 tonight, and then we're going to give this boy holding at who they feel could well come through at 10. He's not included in the matchday squad actually, but he doesn't want to play there, so the only other option was to play Pienaar at 10, and he was Marshall inside it.
Here's one he could kick with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Straight and true, no problem. Ulster go into a 3-0 lead. Lots of positions in the back division. Rob are interchangeable. I think a wing or fullback. It's like a back three these days. Centres can play wing, centres can play fullback. It's not often you get a top level somebody who plays 9 and 10, is it?
No, I think France have always seemed to find players like Michalak and Elissalde over the years. You know, Morgan Parra plays 10 as well, and they've always managed to do it. But you don't see it from any of the other Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere sides, in all honesty. But Pienaar is such a good footballer. He could probably play across the back line.
Gareth Owen's kick. Nick Williams is under it. No, as he spilled that one forward. He's back to the play, so the referee giving him the benefit of the doubt. Pienaar. And that'll have to come back as he's taken back into the 22.
Taken back inside.
Here's a good position for the Scarlets.
Back in by 8.
Well, there's a couple of mistakes by Pienaar. Pienaar, of course, will be involved next week in the South African squad to take on Wales, as will the Leinster player who played
Fullback.
last night.
Yes, who I interviewed last night and whose name is on the tip of my tongue. Zane Kircher. Good take by Jake Ball, and here's the roll now. Tamani starts it. Scarlets forwards go piling in. Shingler once more. Get into the 22 now. Referee playing advantage is carried on again though by the Scarlets. Now they're 5 metres short. Gareth Davis with a little snipe. Still a little bit slow, and they have to take it up through the forwards.
Use it!
Big Jake Ball standing off. It's crunched though by the reception committee, which included Nick Williams. Scarlets have still got it though. Gareth Davis looking for Josh Turnbull this time. First the tackling of Ulster is good though, but the Scarlets are inching forward, even if it's a bit slow. Davis again to Tamani. Now it can go left, and there are men spare. Shingler.
Hands out! Advantage is over.
Advantage over.
Hands out! White! Stay!
One man down for the Scarlets. Still they take it up. That's the try line in the background.
Away, White!
George Earl has a go. Now can Davis to Steve Shingler.
Roll 8!
Adam Warren.
Use it!
Excellent possession. Being told to use it. Kirby Myhill, the hooker.
Stay!
Davis. Maul.
Hands out, White!
Well, that's 2 metres to go. Tamani. Gareth Davis finding Samson Lee. Now it's got to go left, surely. Still there with George Earl. Davis has a snipe himself.
That's always great defence. Great defence.
It is good first step tackling. Scarlets are getting just the little inches though. And one more drive might well do it here for the home side. Jake Ball. Davis to Steve Shingler. Timani. Again, though, the Ulster defence is pretty solid. Davis to Turnbull.
So great control of the ball. 24 phases so far.
Phil John, the captain. 25 phases now for the Scarlets. They've still got a man down.
With Aaron Shingler struggling.
Use it!
The 26th phase. Jake Ball.
Stay up, stay up!
Virtually the whole team's had a go. Turnbull. If they can move it left, it's 2-on-2, but there's a lot of space.
Use it!
28 phases. Ball again. Timani.
Stay outside!
Gareth Davis bothering. Well, this is unbelievable. 31 phases and they're still stuck in the same place. Now it's got to go left, surely. Stephen Shingler out to Gareth Owen. One pass.
I tell you what, this is great defence.
Jordan Williams, the wing. It is unbelievable defence with 32 phases.
They've still got the ball. It's a great ball retention. Oh, he's lost it.
He has lost it, yeah. Scarlets have lost it. Well, fantastic defence by Ulster, it has to be said. The Scarlets ball recycling was pretty good, but there was no way through ultimately. And it was all done without, is that
Aaron Shingler?
Aaron Shingler's down, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking quite a bump there, nasty bump. This was his... he's just lost the ball there, but that was fantastic defence. The first up tackles were great, and their ability to get up off the ground quickly and cover the space as well. They didn't commit too many to the tackle area. And that was great by Shingler. I think he's taken a nasty bump on the head there.
A bit of claret.
Number six,
There's a little bit of concussion there as well.
blood if he wants to come back. We've got 10
Cue the old joke, he doesn't know who he is.
There's a blood replacement here.
Tell him he's moving Davis and get him back on. He's a tough lad though, Aaron Shingler.
Yeah, whether he just gets that cleaned up. I think they've got John Barkley will probably come off the bench. For a bad replacement. Let's just have a look. There he goes to deck.
What will that do to the Scarlets psychologically, Rob, with hammering away there, 30, whatever it was, 34 phases?
I think it's so early on in the game, it probably won't have much of an effect. You know, their ability to keep the ball was good. Okay, they lost it towards the end, but I said 34 phases of play. It was fantastic to do that in conditions like this.
And they have got the wind, remember, the Scarlets, so they may feel they need to build a bit of a lead. Kirby Myhill, the young hooker, midway between the 10 metre and the 22. Jake Ball again, he's been prominent in the opening quarter of an hour. And the Scarlets not lacking for possession as Barclay takes it on. Gareth Davis to the juggernaut that is Samson Lee. Stephen Shingler, a bit congested in that midfield, and the ball lost again, and a chance for Pienaar, or rather Jared Payne, to put it downfield. Football skills by Gareth Owen. Dinks it back into the corner. That's as good a kick as you could wish to see from the fullback.
I said early on, I thought the wind advantage is with Ulster, but that's not the case. And you can see that, just thinks it through, perfectly placed, perfectly executed, and puts the Scarlets where they want to be. But they've got to turn this pressure into points. I said it's been fantastic defensive effort from Ulster up until now. But they just need to get the ball, keep the ball. Eventually they will find space.
Shortened line out by Ulster. Taken well by Neil McComb. Towering lock, big pack of forwards, this Ulster lot. Marshall's kick taken by his opposite number, Gareth Davis, and finds it in quickly, and here's a great chance for Nick Reynolds. Now they need it quick. Samson Lee. Well, penalty given.
Is that crossing?
Crossing. Again, it may have been better going left.
Making the pathway.
Although Samson Lee
Number 2 obstruction
picked it up
made
and
a
had
big
some
hole for the
momentum
right
going.
back.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, I think that was the case there. You know, if there was crossing, there was nothing deliberate there. I think it would have been more perhaps accidental. Kirby Mayo perhaps coming on that short ball. But all the momentum, it was all about go forward. Nick Reynolds putting them on the front foot. It was a good pick-up by Samson Lee. Good leg drive.
Pinar's kick finds touch. Good little player, Nick Reynolds. I've seen him a lot in... Good little player, Nick Reynolds. I've seen him a lot in the colours of Llanelli RFC in the Premiership. Nice little player. And of course, all these squad players will get game time now over the next couple of weeks with the LV Cup.
I've always been impressed with him, I've got to be honest. He's good footwork, you know, he's a big lad, he's quick. I said it, every time I've seen him in a Scarlets jersey, he's never let them down.
Ulster's line out functioning nicely in this opening quarter.
Use it.
Marshall told to use it. That's a bit of a swirler. Picked up by Gareth Davis. Gareth Owen. Just a little step on a handoff. Gets it out to Jordan Williams. That's just going to be a bit strong, I think.
Yeah, but I think you'll see more and more of that in the next 20-odd minutes from the Scarlets.
22.
Just trying to keep the pressure on. Keep Ulster down in those sort of last 5 metres. Yeah, 76% possession.
That's a lot of possession.
Okay.
76%.
That's almost too much possession. Can we have too much possession? Here's Reynolds fielding it to Tamani. With a bit of go forward. There's a bit of skiing over the halfway line on his knees there. Stephen Shingler. That's interesting. Payne makes a bit of a haul exhibit, and Scarlets can hack through. This could be useful. Jake Ball.
He has been prominent, Jake Ball. With ball in hand.
George Earl. Gareth Davis. Shingler back to strength. Stephen Shingler.
Hands out.
Davis once more. Timani's the first receiver. Barclay in support. Now that's nice and quick for the Scarlets.
Hands away.
Warren.
Right.
Davis. Shingler. Gareth Owen. Put down by Chris Farrell. Still on the 22.
It's okay.
The loose ball, though, is hacked through by Ulster. And it's been turned. No prizes for guessing what Pinar's option was. Reynolds has to go back. I'm not sure the wind is favouring anyone, actually, Rob.
No, it's swirling so badly.
Jared Payne to put us out of our misery, which he does. And Scarlets will get the line out.
Yeah, with all the possession, you know, I think the defensive work of Ulster is coming through on top at the moment, though. I said the tackles, the big hits, rattling the Scarlets.
Sure.
Phil Bennett braving the elements there, Phil.
It's pretty chilly as well, isn't it? It's a bit colder than I thought.
And you got a nice warm jacket on. You need a hat, though.
Kirby Mile with the throw. Good ball off the top. George Earl that time. Adam Warren, that's halfway. Davis, oh, that's a great break from Josh Turnbull up to the 22. He's got Gareth Owen with it. Here's Owen. One pass will do it for the Scarlets.
Release.
Davis moves it left. Samson Lee. The Ulster cover is a bit bare on that far side, if they can move it. Jake Ball. Now it can go left. Stephen Shingler.
It's penalty, it's a penalty.
Penalty given. Shingler still going ankle tap. They'll come back for the penalty, though. Ironic cheers from the crowd. And a come here, lovely boy to Nick Williams. Is there a card?
Against you.
No.
Drop it forward.
Yeah, I think Nick Williams actually felt he made the tackle and he got up and he went straight in on the ball on the Scarlet side. I think that will be his excuse, but
just remind
the
players
ruck
to be
had been
mindful when we're
formed.
in this area, and when they're tackling quick ball,
This
bodies
is a
in the way,
huge
will be close
hole
calls.
that Josh Turnbull went through. So if someone had just been outside, if Nick Reynolds had managed to get on the right-hand shoulder of Gareth Owen, that would have been a try. But again, good last-up tackling to get back after the initial mistake. It's the first bit of space they found, but so they managed to get back there. But this should be 3 points for Shingler.
Oh, the old days. The ball holder. And even with the kicking tee, that's how strong the wind is. Even with the kicking tee, it still needs the old finger on the top. There's Shingler, gives it a fair old whack, which is the best thing to do in the wind, and no problem, 3-all.
Well, they deserve certainly to get some points on the board. So they've had all the territory, all the possession.
92 o gapiau dros Gymru, ond dros tîm pêl-drod Cymru hynny yw.
Big Neville Southall.
Big Nev, yes.
Neville Southall.
I spoke at a dinner for the Ray Gravel Trust a few months ago, and he was there, wasn't he, at the dinner? I've got a connection with Nev.
I've never been here.
To be honest, I'm not sure, but...
So you're a rugby fan then? Are you a Scarlets fan?
I like rugby. And to be fair, rugby is very similar to goalkeeping in lots of ways, same techniques. You know, you've got to catch the ball a lot of the times, you get smashed a lot of times, yeah, but it's good for me. Any sport's good live.
So what about the skills here tonight then? What have you made of it so far?
It's been good. I thought the wind was going to spoil the game. But actually they handled the ball well. They haven't kicked as much as I thought. And I thought Scarlets should be held indeed. They give them one little chance.
It's a big weekend for Welsh sports. I can't let you go without asking you about tomorrow. The biggest Welsh derby of all time. Asking you about tomorrow. The biggest Welsh derby of all time. Cardiff Swansea. How's it going to go, Nev?
Well, I hope that we're talking about football at the end of it. I think Welsh fans are going to go there tomorrow and realise that the world's watching the game. And that there's going to be no hassle, no violence, no nothing. It's going to be about football. Who'll
win?
I think it's going to be a draw. I hope it's going to be a draw, to be fair, so everyone goes home happy. I can see maybe Swansea sneaking it, but I do think at the end of the day it'll be a draw, and I think it'll be good. But I do think it's going to be important for both sets of players to behave in the right way.
Gareth Davis with the feet.
The fans have got to behave, because this is our chance to show the world football that we can behave ourselves in these kind of games.
No, how would you fancy winning this one then? Do you think the Scarlets will sneak in?
Technegol efo'r rygbi ar hyn o bryd ar oswch hefo ni. Mae technegwyr yn gwneud y gorau gallen nhw I dal yn ôl I Barca Scarlets at y rygbi cynta as
It's been lovely talking to you and hope to see you again at Barca Scarlets.
You will do, thank you.
Diolch yn fawr, Nev.
The great Neville Southall there, talking about the football derby tomorrow. I know he's a pretty good summation of what's gone on so far. Scarlets should be more ahead, he said.
Yeah, he said he spoke about their dominance in terms of territory possession. That's a poor kick though. Oh, or is it? Wasn't bad at all.
That's one of the greatest kicks I've ever seen, Rob Jones. Again, though, the wind, it looked as if it was going to fall well short of the touchline. That little gust there, just taking it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this is a great attacking position for the Scarlets for a catch and drive.
I think one thing you can be sure of in the second half, the Scarlets have definitely got a slight wind advantage. It seems to be more in their favour. Ulster will come back. If you look at their back row, and
Jamani's off.
Use it.
Gareth Davis to Samson Lee. Once more the Scarlets hammering away. Jake Ball. It's been impressive so far. Now it's nice and quick. John Barclay. There's the post of Ulster. Phil John. Davis, good hands by Jake Ball.
No, it's okay. Hands out, White!
Almost a nip-on tackle. Tamani at the base. And Gareth Owens in there as well. Myhill. Forwards piling in now, can it go left? Shingler.
More!
Pinar's in there with a tackle, and once again that Ulster tackling is good. Here's Jake Ball though. An outstanding first quarter he's had, and he's taking it up again.
You're off now, White.
The flame-bearded lock.
First action was good.
Shingler, Timani. Well, something's got to give eventually, surely. Shingler back inside to Turnbull. Possession almost at will for the Scarlets.
Jake Ball must have carried about 15 times so far in this first 25 minutes.
Okay, White, hands away. Ball's there. Stay.
Davis once more. Turnbull, first receiver. The Scarlets not in any particular hurry to move it wide. Given the wind, that might be a judicious tactic. Here we go then with Shingler with a little dink through. Did Mike Allen just get that? I think he did.
Trimble that is again.
Have they swapped shirts?
Sorry, yeah, Trimble's on the left wing. Yeah, Trimble's 11. Mike Allen, yeah, there he is. 82% now.
Now, if I hadn't have been delayed on the N4 and just gone into the commentary box, I would have been able to pick that change up. Trimble on the left wing. Josh Turnbull with the take. Shingler of the Stephen variety. Payne. Here we go with the kicking tennis. Well taken by Gareth Owen. Must be difficult taking the aerial balls out there with the swirl. Owen returns it. Pienaar. Some of the crowd shouting for a forward pass. That's a good kick, as Rob said, by Pienaar.
Play on, play on.
Quickly taken by the Scarlets. Pienaar again.
Out of the 10.
Neither side really
Advantage, 4 wide offside.
feeling that they want to pull them up. Yeah, penalty.
4.
I think both sides probably, you know, if you keep possession or try and run from deep, the chances are the ball will go to deck. A mistake,
Skipper.
that could cost you.
You have the penalty here.
So the kicking game is
Or you
probably
can
the
have
easy
scrum back
option.
where you kicked it just over there.
Put pressure defensively and see if they can make the opposition into mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, just not retreating there. That ball went up, little vertical. And nobody got out of that 10 metres quick enough.
Nothing you can
Chance for
make sure
Shingler to
this
drill
will
one
win
down
this
into Ulster territory, or deeper into Ulster territory. Gets it onto the 22.
Play on.
It's not the
Yes,
best of crowds. I don't think they were expecting a huge crowd with
What's your
the
numbers?
conditions. Obviously, there's problems on the roads.
Well, it's gone awry by the Scarlets. A foe of the All Black tidies up.
Hands are up. Stay.
Marshall. And one or two of the Scarlets players getting each other's way then. It's bobbling about. And Gareth Davis seizes it eventually.
Hands White.
10-metre line of Ulster.
Penalty, another one.
Turnbull. Jordan Williams going in. Now we're going to get a card this
Nick
time.
Williams again.
Next time I'm going to escalate it to something else. Move away.
That's a third final warning, isn't it?
I said next time it's a card.
Yeah.
Just look at it. I mean, there are times where you look at a player on the ground and he just can't get out of the way. He's pinned in a position. And if you look at him, he was trying, I felt, to sort of lift himself away from the ball to allow the ball freedom to come out.
Delightful man, Nick Williams. Whenever you interview him, he always calls you sir. Have you noticed that? Interviewed him a few times, and he always says sir. Which is...
Where's he from originally?
He's a New Zealander, isn't he? New Zealand qualified.
Andy, eyes front.
But he's a great signing for Ulster. Ulster.
I said they've signed very well over the last 2 or 3 years. Nick Williams being one of them, Pienaar another.
Now, can the Scarlets finally get over the line this time? They've had success earlier with the old rolling maul. On comes the rumble, Ulster crumble and the Scarlets have got the first try. Lots of congratulations. Who's the last man up? And it looks like George Earl. In fact, it is George Earl, the big second row, and it had to come by the Scarlets, and that's been their best tactic so far for me. The rolling, driving line out, and at last they cross.
Undeservedly so as well, and it deserved to go to their pack. Their pack have been outstanding in this first half hour. I say they've driven well. Jake Ball has been excellent. He's at the front of that. And I said they did well just to keep themselves up. And George Earl gets across. I said they've carried so well all evening so far, and they deserve that. They've just got to keep that momentum going. There's a long way left in this game. Ulster won't sort of sit back. They come at the Scarlets, certainly in the second period, but that's a great way to get your first try.
And in these conditions, it's the safest, isn't it? Because you haven't got to chuck the ball around. Just keep it there tight. And
I think it's just playing sensible rugby, isn't it? You know, I think what they've done so far has been what's needed in conditions like this. You know, trying to throw the ball wide in conditions, I guess the wind does take the ball. So the simple, short passes, the powerful drives up front will work.
Is Stephen Shingler. Looks a bit iffy, and yeah, just hooked.
Just looking here at the players stayed out, didn't commit themselves early enough there. Perhaps the Ulster back row forwards. Scarlets won't be happy with that.
8-3. 8 minutes to half time. Oh, not secured there from Pinar's kick. They do eventually set it though. Stephen Shingler.
That's gone miles.
It has gone miles. That took a real late gust. Back goes Pinar. So stand by for some.
Don't advance. Two. Wait.
Oh, that's a good
okay.
kick.
You have to wait till it's dead before you go.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. It's going to be a boot fest, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I said understandably so. He said you don't want to be playing too much rugby, just playing into the opposition hands. It's all about keeping it tight. You'll see very much the same, I think, in the second period from Ulster. It'll be tight, it'll be close quarter stuff. Pina controlling things at 10. You know, and anything that does go to Pina, they'll probably have the back row forwards alongside him to carry on the driving play.
Myhill's throw. A little bit scruffy again by the Scarlets. That's two now that have sort of gone astray. Phil John, the captain, does well to tidy it though. On halfway, and there's another goal.
Use it!
Good counter-rucking by Ulster that time. There's only one option for Gareth Davis, and that's the box kick. Looks like it's a bit too far. Indeed it is.
Yeah, that's the difficulty there, is trying to control those kicks. You want to leave them hang so that your wingers can get there at the same time. The wind will take it.
Trimble. And that's a fair old kick as well. For the angle.
I thought it was a fantastic kick from that angle. Incredible kick. He said he had about 2 metres, 3 metres from the touchline. Oh, he's gained some 50 metres.
Scarlets do have the throw though.
Skipper, sort out your line out now, okay? Don't move in until the ball has been thrown.
That's the third one. He's got a lovely buyer forward to his front row partner, Rob Herring. And Gareth Moore comes away with it for the Scarlets. Now he's got support on the inside. It's Myhill up in support, the hooker. Moll did really well to find him. Then up to the 22. Gareth Davis to Shingler. Phil John, the captain. Phil John, the captain again. Into the 22. Gareth Davis to Jake Ball. Timani. Scarlets using the big runners and keeping it at close quarters again. Myhill. Turnbull. Now will they risk moving it wide this time? Shingler with a little half dummy. Turnbull. Support a little bit slow in coming, but they've still got it, the Scarlets. Gareth Davis to Timani. Can he step out of the tackles? Yes, he can. Almost there, Timani. Phil John, did it go forward? Yes, it did. Well, that was real bad luck for Timani. Just another little hop and a skip, and he would have been there.
They've driven well on, make powerful drives. Phil John, as if there's a better ball carrying prop in Welsh rugby at the moment. I've yet to see him. A real new lease of life in the last 12 months or so. Great at scrummage time, but his work rate on the park as well has been excellent. Yeah, just lost it. Did he lose it forward though? That was the question. But Timani's carried so well as well. Leg drive constantly, getting him away from tacklers. And we've seen Jake Ball doing the same, Josh Turnbull. I just feel they just need to get another score before half-time. Just need to get probably 2 scores ahead, just to give them the confidence and the momentum to carry the good work on in the second half.
Hats off to Danny Wilson as well, the forwards coach, for the work he must have done over the summer with the Scarlets, because they've been a revelation this year, the forwards, haven't they, this season?
Well, they have. It's, at scrum time, it used to be their Achilles heel. They were always struggling, you know, backline to die for, you know, fantastic players in midfield, Reece Priestland calling the shots, but their possession stats in the past have been pretty poor, really. They've always tried to feed off scraps, but this year they've been fantastic. They've out-scrummed most sides they've come up against, and as I said, their work in the loose has been, you know, real top-notch.
Steve Shingler coming off. That looks like something
doesn't look good, does it?
With the lower arm. Yes. Probably a straight swap with Aled Thomas.
Yeah. So both Steve and Aaron Shingler off. Yeah, it just looks as if he's on a nasty bump to the elbow, the forearm, maybe even the shoulder.
Competent deputy though. Aled Thomas.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Big scrum for the Scarlets here. Can they disrupt Ulster? Picked up by Williams at the back. And gets over the gain line. And some more. Pienaar using the safety of the touchline.
I said, for all their dominance, for all the possession, it's 8-3. I said, it's not going to be a high-scoring game, but you know, Ulster are a very, very good side. They've had no possession at all in this first half. I said, once they get a bit of possession, they've got some good runners behind. They've got a great back row, some big ball carriers.
That's a better line out from the Scarlets, and they get a penalty as well for pulling down.
Playing the jumper in the air.
Playing the jumper in the air. Lewis Stevenson, the guilty party. And here we go with a chance for Aled Thomas to extend the lead.
Yeah, probably the last play of the first half.
Who's talking to me, Andy? Yeah, but... Oh, yeah, okay.
A half which has been pretty much
Sorry.
the hoof,
Yes,
the whole
bottom one,
hoof, and nothing but the
38-50,
hoof,
yeah.
really.
I don't think you expected anything different though. Driving down here today, I said with the wind, the rain. I said it's not the most pleasant of conditions to play rugby in, but you've got to get out there, you've got to do the dirty work to get a job done and to get a win.
And an 11-3 lead would be very handy, a 2-score lead. There's the strength of the wind again, ball just been blown off the tee.
So Aled Thomas has just come on in the park really as well, so no, I don't think he's touched the ball as yet.
"35 metres, these are the ones you practice in training rigidly." And that's a great first touch for Aled Thomas, straight through, no problem at all. And all of a sudden, the Scarlets, at half-time, are a score clear. They lead Ulster by 11 points to 3. We'll be back with you on the red button in the second half.
Lawr gyda Phil Johnson yn yr hanner cyntaf efallai.
Diolch yn fawr, Gwyn. Gwyn Jones yn gweud fyna. Mae ti o ser yn y rhanner cyntaf. Ti fod o strictly cym dancing ychan y ffordd ti danswg dy'r cana.
Croeso nôl ato ni. Cadarnhad o'r sgôr ar ddiwedd yr hanner cyntaf. Scarlets 11, Ulster 3. Mae'r Scarlets wedi creu sawl cyfle, ond wedi methu manteisio yn ystod yr hanner cyntaf. Dewch i ni glywed argraffiad ar Rhys Priestland. Mae o'n cadw cwmni i dot.
Diolch Gareth, Rhys Priestland. Wel, Scarlets, dechrau ddawol.
Do, wedi bod yn hanner dda iawn y rygbi a i ystyried beth mae'r gwynt fel, mae'r doi dim i wario yn dda iawn.
Be ti'n meddwl o waren hwn, yn beth am yr ail hanner? Pwy mae'n ffafrio, ti'n meddwl?
Honestly, fi lan yn eisteddle a sim clyw fi pwy ffordd mae'r gwynt na mynd, so Dwi'n mynd i'r boes jyst wario fe, maen nhw'n wario hanner cyntaf, amlwg maen nhw wedi bod yn gweithio'n galed trwy wythnos a gweithio gallu nhw adeiladu sgôr yn y ail hanner nawr.
A mae rai fi holi, ti wedi bod â Cymru trwy'r wythnos, siw mae'r paratoadau'n mynd at gemer hydre?
Mae wedi bod yn wythnos anodd iawn, ond sa'n credu fe chi'n disgwyl ddim un arall o'r garfan Cymru, ond na, mae wedi bod yn anodd, ond enjoyo.
Pob lwc at yr hydre, diolch ti am siarad â ni, Rhys. A nawr mae'n bryd i ni fynd draw am sylwebeth o'r ail hanner na, gyda Bryn Williams a Gwyn Jones.
Welcome back to Red Button, listeners, for the second half of this Pro 12 clash. Llanelli Scarlets against Ulster. Scarlets leading 11-3. Phil Steele on commentary with the former Wales and Lions scrum half Rob Jones. Rob, your thoughts for the second half then, your tactics?
Well, it's got to be very much the same from the Scarlets. I mean, they managed to get possession and keep it fantastically well. I would imagine the Ulster side will lift their game slightly. I mean, there wasn't enough drive really in their game from in that first period, so I expect them to be a different side in the second period. But the Scarlets, they just have to keep that momentum going. You know, there was a real intensity in their play. The ball carrying was fantastic. Their tactics were right. And if they can carry on the same in the second half, it'll be a fantastic win for them.
I saw you talking to Alan Roland, the referee in the tunnel. What were you telling him? No cheating?
I can't. I played against him when he played for Leinster a couple of times years ago, of course, Irish international. And I've always got on quite well with him, although that's not something the rest of the Welsh public, rugby public, would enjoy.
He takes a lot of stick. I can't think of too many referees, though, who've refereed at international level and played at international level, can you? No,
not at all. And to be honest, I think he's a good referee. You know, he has his moments like a lot of referees. Nigel Owens is probably still, in my eyes, the #1 referee in world rugby at the moment. But Alan Rowland, you know, consistently gets big World Cup matches, big Heineken Cup matches. So I think you know, we only see him occasionally. I think consistently he's probably one of the best.
Now this will give us an indication of what the wind is doing in this second half. Pienaar from just inside his own, the Scarlets' 10-metre line. It's very difficult to discern what the wind was actually doing in the first half. And the Scarlets' tactics were just about perfect. At one stage they went through 32 phases without scoring a try, it must be said, but the ball retention was excellent. George Earl, the try scorer, 11-3, and a penalty by Stephen Shingler, and also his replacement, Aled Thomas. Here's Pienaar, though. Looks just about...
No, it's just gone left.
Gone left. Cue the cheers. from this sparse crowd, it should be said, but the M4 was shut, so it could have taken a few off, and of course the weather not great, Saturday evening as well.
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, when you're sitting at home this afternoon, watching the rain slam against the window, the wind, it's probably not the most pleasant thoughts to go out on a night like that, and I think that's taken away a lot of the supporters.
Marshall's kick taken by his opposite number, Gareth Davis, just outside his 22. And Jake Ball, he had an outstanding first half.
It's going to be interesting to see the stats of the forwards. Phil John again constantly makes yards, doesn't he? He's, I think he's saying at half-time, he's probably the in-form loose-head prop in Wales at the moment.
Davis, that's a boomerang. And the Joe was, I think he was surprised to see it coming anywhere near him.
Yeah, that's a penalty, though, is it? Not moving away. And again, that is the problem when the ball
was a poor kick, and your players have got to get out of the 10 metres.
You've got to get out of that 10-metre area. And we could safely say that there were quite a few Scarlets who didn't do that.
So a forward probably knew what he was doing all along then. John Afoa, the All Black, big unit.
He's a lumpy man.
But he's got no change out of Phil John tonight in the scrum.
No.
There's the Scarlets coaching triumphant.
I was talking to Simon Easterby very briefly at half-time, and I think he was very pleased with what he saw. But he was asking his team for the same in the second period. But it hasn't started off too well. 2 penalty attempts.
There's Pienaar. Can he judge the wind on this one? And he's got it just about right this time.
I said I was expecting to see a different Ulster side, and I think the wind, which was simply blustering a fair bit in the first half, although probably just with the Scarlets, and we seemed to have a couple of kicks, and that kick in particular from Gareth Davis there, that is certainly favouring the visitors tonight in the second half.
Ale Thomas then on for Steve Shingler, who's saw in the first aid area at half-time, just having his arm attended to.
Carry back.
Pienaar.
Wait! Okay.
Owen is back for the Scarlets. He does likewise. Pienaar once more. Ale Thomas. Nearly had him LBW. Mike Allen fighting it away to Payne and then Trimble. Darren Cave, the centre. We haven't seen anything virtually of the Ulster backs, not least because they didn't get much ball in the first half.
And the rain's on its way down again.
Owen. No, that's found some space. Yep.
That's good.
Very promising player at one time, wasn't he, Gareth? He lost his way a little bit.
Well, he had that knee injury that kept him out more or less for 12 months. And I saw him play a fair bit at 10 as well, and he was a very gifted footballer, and still sort of finding his way back.
He's almost a poor man's Gavin Henson, for want of a better word, isn't he? Very languid in his running and got all the skills and silky.
Yeah, as I said, he's a great footballer. I said he lacks, you know, that lightning pace, but I said he's a big man. I just think, you know, eventually he'll get back to the form if he gets consistent and regular rugby, which in fairness the Scarlets have given him over the last 12 months.
Scarlets disrupting that Ulster drive. Phil John is working like a Trojan there. Must have been told to use it by Mr. Roland. Oh, that's a great first up tackle by the two of the Scarlets, one of them being the number 8, Timani. Here's Owen to Jordan Williams. It's a little bit vertical again. Virtually a free ball for Ulster. Marshall.
I tell you what, that was certainly the right decision by Marshall. There was acres of space there. Fantastic take by Trimble. Just got to watch their kicking game at the moment, the Scarlets. I said we didn't see a lot of those kicks in the first half with the wind behind. It was all long kicks downfield, which you can see Rowan Pina doing now. But it's a kick that could cost them. As I said, yes, in terms of penalties, and Trimble taking that one fantastically well.
Marshall, that's useful. Owen can't take it, gets attention of Pienaar. It's Williams. Not a great pass from Pienaar on that occasion. Gives the Scarlets a chance to intercept and indeed win the scrum.
Yeah, Pienaar's very hot and cold this evening. I know he's, I think it's only his second game back or third game back for Ulster. Perhaps there's bigger fish to fry next week when he'll be part of the South African squad. But I still think his best position is 9. That's where he functions more effectively. It's just a couple of mistakes creeping into his game, costing Ulster at the moment.
Just checking your way.
That's the best way to be tonight, buttoned up in scarlet. At a chilly Parker Scarlet.
Yeah, it's been quite mild, hasn't it, up until probably this weekend. It's the first weekend where the people are out with their big thick coats, the scarves, gloves, and I can understand why.
I wonder if Jake Ball will be growing a grav when it comes up. We won't be able to see him if he does, will we? Picked up the back by Tamani, getting over the gain line. Gareth Davis. And he finds Trimble.
Out.
Ale Thomas under the Trimble effort. And here we go with the hoof ball again.
Inside. Stay.
Reynolds. That's useful.
Well, Scarlets won the kicking battle there. It's a clear tactic by Ulster, and they're just going to get that ball downfield. Try and pressurise the Scarlets to make mistakes or win the kicking battle. But Nick Reynolds there certainly came out on top.
Rob Herring. Diak with the take.
More!
Maul called by the referee, and Marshall has to use the blind side to Trimble up to halfway. Diak again. It's good tackling though, Ale Thomas and John Barclay. Darren Cave almost through, still on halfway, and that's nice and quick recycling. Williams gives the don't argue to Gareth Moore. Marshall Pienaar. This is more like the Ulster that we've come to know.
Release tackler, hands! Tackler, assist.
Pienaar. Just a hint of a man over on the far side, but it was a pretty awful pass.
Well, I said there's more of the Ulster of old there, mate. Just in terms of the pace and tempo, getting Nick Williams, Diak into the game, ball carrying strongly. I said Pienaar again, a mistake. So he's certainly not on top of his game, but that was better from Ulster and more of what we expect from them. Still some big hits coming in from the Scarletsman. Tamani is making his presence felt. Always looking for that big hit.
Diolch Gwyn, Danny Wilson to even in. Well, Danny, a positive first half. What about the start of the second half?
Yeah, we failed to get out of our 22 there and gave them 2 chances to get points, which they took the second one. So a little bit of accuracy issues there, but on the whole we're playing well. You know, lots of changes in the team from last few weeks, and the boys are performing really well. First half we had so much pressure, perhaps disappointed we didn't get more points, but hopefully we can get in the right area of the park second half and come away with some points.
Thank you, Danny. Diolch yn fawr, Danny.
That was Danny Wilson, the Scarlets forwards coach. He's done a great job. And there's a man he's done a great job with in the van, Phil John, captain tonight. And this is where the Scarlets got their first try, or their only try, the only try of the game in the first half, with that driving maul. Josh Turnbull. Now it's the Scarlets' turn to go through the phases. Aled Thomas drilling it through. Lovely kick by the fly half.
I'll tell you, he's kicked well and kicked very sensibly, low and hard into the wind, skids along the ground. As I said, he's managed to get the rewards for that. So if they get it tactically right, the Scarlets could come up with a big win here, because Ulster, as we've seen, you know, when it matters, they've turned over a lot of sides. Heineken Cup wise, the Blues, a good win against the Blues. So this would be a great win if they can just hold on here.
Okay, he's on side.
Marshall's turn to kick. Well taken by Gareth Owen. Awkward, it dipped over his shoulder at the last moment, and he took it like an Aussie rules player. Kick finds Jared Payne. Aled Thomas back there. Pienaar coming back against the grain, just a ricochet off Gareth Davis, and Scarlets, Ulster will get the throw.
They've just got to hang on. They're going to start getting a little bit more possession. As I dominated the first half, and they do the same. I wouldn't worry too much about the kicking game, because they carried so effectively in that first half. They've got the energy to keep going. I think that will be probably their best option.
Marshall to Pienaar. Nick Williams loitering with intent in the midfield. Didn't get as far as him though. Now Marshall. Just get the feeling that Ulster might have just upped the tempo in this second half.
Well, they definitely have, but there's still a lot of mistakes creeping into their game. We mentioned Pienaar. There was a knock on there. Well, yeah, we didn't see their back row in that first half. Okay, very little possession, but in the second half we've seen Dyak and Nick Williams in particular, both very effective.
Yeah. Scrum, who's down?
Let's have a look at this scrum then, the first one of the second half. Been pretty even most of the evening, the scrums.
White, substitution here. Yeah.
Here's a change for Ulster. James McKinney coming on to replace Paul Marshall.
Well, actually, I think he's going to go to 10, is he? And Pienaar into 9?
Indeed he is, yes. Now, whether that's a case of they're not happy with Paul Marshall, or they weren't happy with Pienaar at 10, what do you think?
I honestly think it's Pienaar at 10. I think he's too good a player to take off the field. His goal kicking, of course, so important, and in a game as tight as this, it's going to be vital. And I think he is more effective at 9. As I said, speaking to the Ulster coaches beforehand, they wanted him to play 9. They rate some guy at 10. Is it Holding? Scott Holding. And unfortunately, he doesn't want to play 10, so they had a bit of an issue there.
We'll do it again.
Good nudge on by the Scarlets there. And if that's the port end of things to come in this second half, then things do look good for them.
The pressure's on you two, bringing it across this way, all right?
A lot of transformation in the short space of time scrum-wise, isn't it?
Not this way, okay?
No doubt the new laws have helped.
Not over this way, okay? Here we are.
John, he looks full of enthusiasm. think he enjoys captaining the side as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he does. He's been down here a long time. You know, the most experienced player, I think, by some distance, probably in terms of his time at the region. He said he's just grown in stature.
Fine.
And he said his performances have been excellent.
It's the 10-metre line of the Scarlets. Grabbing a little bit again. And this time, well, it's still going to the Scarlets. Crowd, one or two of the crowd.
I just wondering what Rowan Pina's on about the feed into the scrum, I think, is it? Looking across here at the touch judge. Phil John has definitely got the edge over a forward.
Both front rows, push straight. Don't
Seems
get
to
the tendency to come up out of the scrum
have
now,
the
okay?
drive.
Last two scrums have been
Let's just have a look where this goes now. Is this ball going to be down the middle, yes or no?
Crouch!
Pina, just a bit of experience, old head.
Bind!
Putting pressure on the touch judge.
Set! Yes, no.
And that time it looks as if Ulster got the nudge, but Tamani comes away with it, swats away the first tackler and gets over the gain line. It's Jake Ball. Turnbull, and once again now the Scarlets using the runners. Ale Thomas just not able to stretch Jared Payne. And get another goal. Jordan Williams. Ale Thomas under that one. That took a little bit of a late swirl. Oh, he did well to recover. And poor old Mike Allen went down like a badly packed parachute then.
He did take a bump. I'm talking about commitment though. I mean, he just went straight in there. His eyes on the ball. I think it was a couple of things. The initial collision, and then as he hits the deck, that's the second one, and then Ale Thomas down him as well.
Yeah. A double overdose of gravity for poor Mike Allen.
Just wondering whether he's winded.
If he hadn't swapped shirts, that would have been Andrew Trimble, wouldn't it? That's a great tackle by Timani on Pienaar, and look at the secondary drive as well.
It's turned over.
Now what have the Carls got out wide? Ale Thomas. More. Might have been better keeping it in the hand.
I tell you what, Timani's an excellent game, isn't he? Great tackle, and again, Pina, okay, he's gone back to his more favoured position, but slightly hesitant there. And it was a great tackle, great drive. Yeah, he's been very, very effective. And Pina, bang, there's the hit. And he keeps him up as well, he keeps him up. And Barkley, Samson Lee, Josh Turnbull, all coming in to support.
More! Yeah, it's fine.
And Ulster, by contrast, not getting any momentum when they try the catch and drive. It's Pienaar. And that's a good kick from the angle.
Yeah, great kick. And the intention there was just to get it downfield as far as possible.
Time.
He's
11.
taking a bit of a bump, so there's another change.
White 11.
David McElwain coming on for Mike Allen.
14 or 11?
Probably a little bit winded and dazed after that collision with Ale Thomas. It was a fair old whack, so let's hope he's okay.
Probably got a bump on the side. That's what he winded, bump on the side, ribs.
Thomas, little jink inside, almost takes him past the tackler, who was Rob Herring. Ball, that was.
Use it! Sorry, sir. Okay.
Warren.
Okay, hands out, tackler.
That's the halfway line.
Hands out!
Ball, just the odd yard over the gain line, gets the Scarlets going forward, and Turnbull can just do likewise. And there's the skipper, Phil John. Ball. Gareth Davis. George Earl. Gareth Davis. Alec Thomas with a little dink through. Will it sit up for Warren? Yes, inside to Turnbull. And here's a great chance for the Scarlets. Gareth Davis. Can he find his support? Penalty coming.
This could be a yellow card, and it's got to be a yellow card. Has to be where they are.
Well, they have to come. Not releasing.
Nick Williams has won twice in the first half as well.
Yeah, it's big Nick Williams who's going.
Not actually.
23 is going in the bin, not you.
It's the guy who's just come on, McAway, is it?
Yeah, McAway. Yeah, I think it is.
Well, it seemed as if Nick Williams was walking to the... I think he thought it was him, didn't he?
Well, he did. He started walking off. So he makes the tackle here. He stays in there. I think he's doing all he can to get away. I'm just looking. McAway, he's got the ball there. He's actually turned over possession. He's probably slightly unlucky. He's not very happy with the decision, but one opportunity now, 3 points. An opportunity to really knock the nail in over the next 10 minutes, sorry.
At least his tracksuit will still be warm, won't it? He has to put it on. Alec Thomas, now this will be interesting because it'll take the Scarlets to 2 scores ahead, 8 points ahead. Already kicked one with his first touch after coming on for Stephen Shingler. Alec Thomas from point blank range. Yep, no problem at all for the fly half, and the Scarlets are up to 14. They lead by 14 points to 6.
Well, I think if you look at it,
pobl gytre wedi bod yn trydan ni at y clwb rygbi cyfeiriad, cofiwch, pwy sydd dan ni fan hyn? Chris Henry'n gweud bod y Scarlets ar dan heno, a nodyn fan hyn, Mal Pate yn gweud eto, pawb yn meddwl bod nhw'n gallu cico'n dactidol, cadwch y bel yn y dwylo neno'r tad. Be chi'n meddwl, Gwyn?
Restarted by McKinney, taken by Reynolds. And nicely returned as well.
Good kick again. And they say they're doing everything right at the moment, the Scarlets. They say their forwards are on fire tonight, in fairness. They say they're doing the simple things well. Alec Thomas has come on and controlled matters, kicked very well indeed. Him and Gareth Davis just keeping things going, keeping things alive. I tell you what, it's a great tackle here because Gareth Davis is quick. Nick Williams did exceptionally well to get back and get that tackle in.
Ulster off again through Farrell. Turnbull was the man who made that tackle, a real flyer. Pienaar. And he's turned Reynolds there. And Reynolds didn't have much chance other than to do what he did there.
I tell you what, he's taking a bunt there. That's a great tackle. Let's just have a look here. On Darren Cave, that's a big hit. I think it's Darren Cave, is it?
It was Darren Cave, yeah, and it certainly was Turnbull.
Yeah.
Could have bump started the tractor, that one.
Time off.
Big hit from Darren Cave. Suffering. Phil John, well, his work has been excellent, so hence the reason he's got a bit of cramp.
He'd be quite pleased with that secretly, wouldn't he, to have cramp?
He probably will, yeah. He's, I say, he was down here when I was coaching down the Scarlets, and absolutely great guy, great guy to have in the squad, in the setup.
Touch of the old school about him, isn't there?
Yeah, very much so. But he's a big man and probably never really fulfilled his potential. And he's, you know, as he's getting on in years, he's starting now to show what I think a lot of people felt he was capable of many years ago. I said a big man, powerful, good ball carrier. I said he's leading by example as well today. I said, you know, only 65 minutes gone. You've got 2 or 3 guys who've really put their hand up for man of the match up front. Tamani, Jake Ball, Phil John, all been fantastic.
And George Earl, of course, Jake Ball's second row partner, getting the try from a line-out catch and drive, which has been an excellent tactic by the Scarlets. Ulster have got a chance to do likewise here, though.
Use it! 7!
Pienaar, did he knock that on? He did.
Well, that was good play.
And Gareth Davies's kick could turn out to be quite useful here. It's bobbling around a bit. Well, he obviously played the advantage. Did Mr. Roland?
Yeah, he played the Roland and the kick was made. But just look now, it's a secondary drive there. Josh Turnbull, I think, could sense that, you know, there was an opportunity to come through, to counteract, to put pressure on Pienaar. That's what he did. That's where the knock-on came. That's where they turned over possession. And again, Josh Turnbull, another one who's worked tirelessly defensively and with ball in hand.
I hope Pienaar's not getting all his mistakes out of the way for next week, is he?
It'll just be interesting to see whether he actually makes selection next week. We all know just how good a player he is, but a long way from the quality we expect tonight.
Sospenvach rings out around the Parker Scarlets from the sparse-ish crowd. Standing up in the scrum against Phil John.
Well, is it Kirby Mayo, one of the two, but you're just wondering, they've definitely got the better of the scrums. Definitely got the drive on there. Oh, that's a bad decision.
It seemed as if a forward came up, didn't it?
Yeah. I think a forward and a Herring came up. Phil John putting huge pressure on the forward. Yeah, I understand his frustration after that.
And this would be the kick of the night for Pienaar if he could get this in this wind.
It's on the distance, because it's swirling so much, is whether he can get it accurately enough.
4 minutes to go on the yellow card. Here's Pienaar. Well, he gave it a fair old thump, and that didn't deviate one iota. He gave it enough muscle to just drill it straight through the posts, and all of a sudden Ulster are back to within a score.
Yeah, that's why he's still on the field. For all his mistakes tonight, he does kick his goals when it matters.
Now then, just over 10 minutes to go. The Scarlets still with the one-man advantage. Pienaar. Not going to be any change from those tactics. Gareth Owen not quite under it. Ale Thomas to Pienaar. Lovely hands, flypaper hands by the scrum half.
It's a good kick. It's a great kick.
And having said that he's been making a lot of mistakes, he's just drilled a cracking penalty through the sticks, and a beautiful kick there as well. Now, would the Scarlets, Rob, have been better just
I was just
taking their own line out there?
Yeah, I think you're right, Phil. You know, they could have slowed the clock down, they could have taken the line out, you know, which has been quite effective. They've driven well from the line out. They could have worked their way down the field. They could have kept possession. There's all those things you've got to consider. To take that quickly and just hand over possession at this stage is a bad decision.
Mike McCormish coming on for Neil McComb.
Time on.
Like for like in the second row. Less than 10 to go. Scarlets leading 14-9. Good ball by Stevenson. Chris Farrell, that's the 22 of the Scarlets. Pienaar. Roger Wilson. Stevenson. As the rain starts to sweep across the Parker Scarlets again. Still on the 22. The referee had called a maul.
What's the penalty for?
Well, he called a maul, hadn't he?
They held him up because they were holding him off the ground with his legs.
Yeah,
Dangerous play.
It's dangerous play.
Yeah, if they come in, Tamani and Josh Turnbull have held him up there. He's got his legs off the ground. Is that a penalty offence, or is it just dangerous play?
It can be construed as dangerous play, I suppose.
Next time, needs to be just coming over to check for clarification on that. So it's holding them up off the ground is fine, but once you take the legs away, then that's construed as dangerous play. Yeah.
Here's Pienaar. This to bring it back to within 2 points, and he's missed it. Well, by Pienaar standards, that's a Don Fox. I know he's got a swirling wind to cope with, but that's remarkable.
I said, for someone of his quality, Phil, you would have kicked that in your brogues. I'm telling you. And I've seen you kick. Maybe that's fair. That's a fair decision. Perhaps, or a fair outcome, I should say.
Knock on given. This will give the Scarlets a chance now to just go through the phases again. Roger Wilson, the guilty party. And the crowd start to get behind their heroes as the clock ticks down. Here's the kick.
It's incredible, mind, for someone of his ability.
That is Don Fox, isn't it? All we need is Eddie Waring saying, he's missed it, the poor lad.
I said, well, he can't believe it himself. He hasn't had a great evening. But he's the type of guy who could slot another 2 penalties or a drop goal and win this game for Ulster with 6 minutes to go, 6.5 minutes to go.
Good steady scrum by the Scarlets, held at the back by Tamani. A little bit of a drive as well. Oh, was he was cropped then, wasn't he? He was cropped by Roger Wilson, surely, and that could be worth a yellow.
Well, if it is, if he's deemed that as tripping, it's a yellow card. Yes, it is, it's a yellow card. It's got to be.
Okay, foul play.
It is.
It's got to be.
And is that Ulster's last? Or is that going to make a big difference to Ulster now in the last 10 minutes?
Let's just have a look.
Oh, it's a Malachi, isn't it? That's a normal.
He's trying to plead innocence on the ground there. That ball's out. Oh, he's checked him out, yeah. Good decision. I thought for a while he wasn't going to card him. He was just going to penalise him and warn him.
Yeah, good old-fashioned cropper.
Yeah. Well, that's it. 14 men now for the next 6 minutes. The Scarlets have to take advantage of this. McWilliam is back on. But you've got someone out the pack. If there was ever going to be a threat from Ulster, it was going to be up front, their back row. That's gone now.
Now, if Aled Thomas can get this one right down into the 22, there's a real chance for the Scarlets, because their first try came from a line-out catch and drive. Well, it's not into the 22, but it's not a bad position for the Scarlets.
I think the key is it's their ball. You know, like I say, they've kept ball so well for most of this game.
Now they've got a chance to drive it. Ulster a man down, remember. Here we go. And as long as they've got momentum, the referee will be happy.
It's a penalty as well. The arm is out.
Rob McCusker, the water boy, really cheering his forwards on down there. Penalty is given now, Rob. With the wind as it is, would you just play percentage and take another line out?
Well, anyway, I don't know how bad it is out there. I mean, if there's a chance for the 3 points, I'd probably go for the 3 points.
Shot?
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. Because if this does go over, then that's game, set, and match.
2 scores, yeah.
Jared, simple. It's 3 in the side.
It's not an easy kick, though.
Number 3 in the
this
side, okay?
wind. It's probably into the wind slightly as well. But I don't think I've seen the Scarlets pack play as well as this for quite some time. Let me tell you, it's just about being up for a game, and you can see right from the start they've been up for this.
You can see Phil John now, even now, with 5 minutes or so to go, still going around tapping backsides, patting people on the back.
Well, you know, some of the key players are away. You know, Jonathan Davis, Scott Williams in particular, Reece Priestland. But up front, this game has been won up front with a great collective effort.
Big kick now for Aled Thomas. This to put the Scarlets 2 scores clear with 4 minutes to go. And he's nailed it. Great kick by Aled Thomas. And now it's the Scarlets to lose.
Yeah, fantastic kick. So the rain comes down again. It's blustering around the pitch. That was a great kick. But it's the pack again who give them that penalty opportunity. Great work. And there's Sony Tamani, man of the match.
Yes, he's been outstanding, as has all of the back row. Well, the whole pack, as you say, Rob.
Well, I have Jake Ball, George Earl, you know, have both contributed massively. I mean, Josh Turnbull's been excellent as well. I said Kirby Myhill, considering it's only his 3rd game for the Scarlets, has been very, very good.
Samson Lee gives a free ball to Ulster.
I think it might have been Phil John who's been excellent as well.
Oh, it was Phil John. Sorry, Samson. The dink through, Owen. Nick Williams picks it up. Keeps it in play well. Jared Payne, the captain.
Oh.
And here's a kick and chase. Just out of the reach of Chris Farrell. It was always going away from him in the wind. And that should be that now, as far as Ulster are concerned.
Well, had they scored there, then I think there would have been quite a few nervous Scarlet supporters here, but I said, great option. Unfortunately, I said, just a little bit too strong with the kick. Just take your time now.
Aled Thomas, who's done really well since he came on in the first half for Stephen Shingler, who went off with an arm injury. And there he is under the high ball again. Excellent mark called. And he can just take his time and bang it out of play.
I just wonder, well, why kick that? You've got 2 minutes to go, just over 2 minutes, and you just kick in possession away. Jared Payne is a great player. That's a bad decision, bad call.
Safe touch found by Aled Thomas, and now all
And
the Scarlets have to do
iawn, oedd rai fi
is
wedyn.
defend
Pwy sydd yn trydarni, ond y dyn I hun, Dafydd Iwan, mae e'n gweud da iawn y Scarlets, daliwch arni a daliwch ar y bel.
And the forwards coach, and indeed all the coaching staff, to see a great forward performance rewarded with a win.
No, absolutely. You know, they've gone out there with a game plan as well. They knew conditions were going to be poor. I think Simon needs to be got his forward, Daniel Wilson got his forwards exactly where he wanted them, you know, in terms of their physical presence and the tempo and pace that they put into the game, and each and every one of them has stood up. And yeah, it's been down to the forwards, and this is a great win, you have to say, a great win, and one of the best forward performances with the Scarlets I've seen.
Praise indeed from Robert Jones. Jared Payne, the captain, almost up to the 22. Pienaar.
Hands out blue, hands out blue!
As the clock turns red.
Okay, my time.
Alan Thomason with a tackle that time. And there's the ball going forward, and that should be it. There it is, the final whistle, Alan Roland. And a thoroughly deserved win for the Scarlets over Ulster here at the Park of Scarlets by 17 points to 9. That's all from myself, Phil Steele, and Rob Jones on the red button. Thank you very much for your company tonight.
Barkley ag unig cais